This week on the podcast, JD and I touch on subjects varying from what his feud throughout the summer with Brett was like, what JD has been doing with his weekends, and Hunico Nation sweeping through the EWA.
I said, are you ready for the Survivor Series?
Who will survive?
3.
Execution is on top. There's a new gun in town.
I made a vow to become a law enforcement officer. See these handcuffs right here? They're an instrument of justice. The big boss man is law, order, and justice of the World Wrestling Federation.
Who will survive?
For the top, we won't be stopped. When no one improved and got the grand groove, pump it up and raise the roof. It swings, swings, swings like the mighty Thor. You need to go like the Fantastic Four. So pick it up, pump it up. The bad boys are back, who's blowing up the place. Yo, you better catch. Still slamming the pump because we're coming at ya. When no one improved, pump it up, just jump. The WWX spells danger. It's 93 and time for WrestleMania.
Welcome, everyone, to the EWA podcast, and I know what you're all thinking. Man, that was a hellaciously long intro, but I wanted to let everyone hear my favorite WrestleMania theme song of all time. It was the WrestleMania 9 intro song, and JD, you probably don't recall the WrestleMania 9 intro song, but it had lyrics, and it was like wrestlers talking, and then it was like, whoa, whoa, WrestleMania.
Oh, I know. I was there.
Oh, you were at that WrestleMania?
Of course.
You were there. That was Bret Hart versus Owen Hart. Bret Hart versus Yokozuna.
I don't even know if I was born yet, to be honest.
Oh. You were? How old are you?
26.
Yeah, see, you were alive. I remember it clear as day. Crush and Macho Man had a Falls Count Anywhere match, or it was some match where you had to get... It was like a last man standing crossed with a Falls Count Anywhere type thing. Very confusing.
Okay. Yeah.
If they had that match today, neither one of them would win because they're both dead.
Oh. No man.
That's not a joke. That's not a joke. That's not a joke. That actually happened. So anyways, welcome everyone to the podcast. As you can tell, I'm here with this week's guest, JD. JD, the handler of Kevin Steen and Edge at times, members of the Sublime Empire. JD, the second guest on the podcast, universally panned as the most boring podcast to date. JD, welcome back to the podcast.
Yo, yo, yo.
No comment on the fact that I just called your first podcast the most boring one ever.
Whatever. But now that I'm a second time being on here, that means I'm like part of the Vegas connection now, right?
Oh yeah, you're in the clique now.
Boom.
Like, it's all over. The clique is like me, you, Will, because Newt likes him and said he was funny. Jazz, I mean, Brett's out, and Cleve and Fuzz, I haven't heard from those guys in weeks. Cleve doesn't know how to use the internet. He doesn't understand how to edit posts. He just makes like 7 posts in a row in a thread.
Nah, I've seen worse.
So let's get down to the big news of the week. Okay, Steve is like 9 characters, and he's fully booked for Slam. Thoughts?
I don't even understand how this is happening, especially because we don't even know if he knows how heavily booked he is.
Okay, that card that was made was obviously fake, but it came out this week that Steve is Zigzwag, which was news to all of us.
Yeah.
Who cared? It was news to no one that Steve is Zigzwag. Steve, we wish you the best of luck. We're going to say whatever we want about you because you don't have the internet this week. But let's get down to Kevin Steen. Kevin Steen coming off the heels now of a great late spring, summer feud with Val Venus. Brett and JD worked a tremendous story, arcing all the way throughout the summer that finally culminated at a Metal Mayhem and resulted in a Kevin Steen win. So why don't you tell us about, one, how the feud got started and the process of working with Brett, and then how it all ended. What are your thoughts on everything looking back now retrospectively?
How it started was Brett actually came to me after he lost the Grand Slam title at Double Jeopardy, or Uprising. And he called me on Fury the Friday before that Sunday of the pay-per-view. And he ended up losing the title at the pay-per-view, and he came to me and he was like, hey, if you're interested, I want to do like a feud with Val Venus that doesn't revolve around his title defenses, because that's basically what he's been doing, either with the national title because he held that so long, or with the Grand Slam title,
right?
Because he also held that for a minute. And he was like, I just want to start a blood feud, and I think we got something going to build off of with when Val Venus called out Kevin Steen on Fury. And I was like, yeah, man, I'm down. And then we just started bouncing ideas off of each other. And actually, when he came to me, he was like, yeah, let's start this feud. And then I was like, sweet. And I started coming up with these ideas, and I was sending them to him via PM. And then like a couple days later, he was like, actually, how about Kevin Steen just takes Val Venus out for a while? I was like, what? You son of a bitch. And
my whole summer revolved around you, and now look what you're doing to me.
But then he came back at Civil War, which worked out great. And
for him.
Yeah, right. But for the feud as well, and we just kept building the feud off each other. And then there was scheduling conflicts with Brett and his work, so we had to for that month where Steen had to feud with
Gregory Iron,
right? Steve. Yeah. And then we finally wrapped it up at Metal Mayhem, and I could not be happier with how it ended. I mean. Not even just because I got the win, but was because I was just, I don't know, so relieved and sad at the same time when it finally wrapped up.
Right. How many matches did Kevin Steen and Val Venus have? Can you recall offhand? Was it just the one?
No. Fury was the first one, and then they had a match at a pay-per-view. I'm trying to remember what the name of it was.
Did you guys?
I think it was the one right after Civil War.
Undisputed,
yeah. That's got to be it.
Right. Do you find it difficult to find things to write about when you have multiple matches in succession with someone?
That's a good question. Sometimes, yes and no. I guess it depends on what you base the feud off of.
Right.
Like, if it's... I guess I could ask you the same thing with your back-to-back feud with Teasy.
Right.
I think it's also if you have a story to tell as well. Like, if you have a story that you want to, like, put onto your character and get out there, and also how you're building the feud as well, then you can play off of both of those themes.
Right.
But what do you think?
It's difficult. Like you said, if you kind of go in without a story to tell, then it's a lot more difficult. Then you're just kind of rambling on about the exact same characteristics of the person that you're trying to point out their flaws, but then you just wind up sounding redundant whenever you just say the same thing over and over.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, it can be tough. I understand that. Fuck, man. Now you made me forget what the fuck I was going to say. Don't ask me questions. I'm the host.
Sorry.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was going to say. So, Val Venus, as you know, Civil War winner, he has a championship shot lined up down the line somewhere in his mind. He's going to cash this thing in and go after the champion. You now have a win over a man who has a guaranteed title shot. Do you feel like that entitles the Kevin Steen character to anything?
No, not necessarily. I would say that I got lucky. I mean, I probably sell myself short, maybe like other people would say, but I'm just like, man, I probably caught Brett on a bad week or something, and that's how I ended up winning. Like, if I put up his guaranteed contract and be like, hey, let's put this up as a stipulation, and like say like if I beat Val Venus, then I get that contract, then I think Brett would have fought a little harder. Or if like he had a title and we were going up for one of his titles, then he probably would have put up more, and maybe I would not have won. I don't know. It might just be me though.
If you were in Brett's position, and let's say you have this title opportunity, a guaranteed title opportunity in your back pocket, would you have less motivation to try and win your matches? Like if you were, like let's say Kevin Steen was the one that had it, and you still did this feud with Val. You're going into Metal Mayhem. It's all culminating in this. Are you going to be as motivated as you were on the other end of the spectrum?
Ooh, I never thought about it like that before. But I could see that, but at the same time, you're kind of like making new guys that come in wonder, be like, well, this guy's not putting in like his best work. How did he get this shot? Yeah. But
I don't think any of us question Brett's ability, though.
Oh, no, not at all.
He's super competitive, and we all know that. And the guy wants to win. It's definitely a testament to your writing and how well you did. I hate to put it like this, but I mean, in the last calendar year, you have wins over two of the longest reigning national title holders with different characters. Can you tell us about what makes your characters Edge and Kevin Steen so different and yet similar in the same right?
I think with Edge, I sort of held back with him. Like I wanted him to be a bad guy, but I don't know how to put it, but it's like, I'd be like, I want to do this, but I couldn't really see him doing something like that vicious. But with Kevin Steen, I'm just like, fuck it, let's go pedal to the metal and just make him the most hated guy that I can make him out to be. And so that's sort of how I do it with him.
So would you say that like Kevin Steen is like Edge, but just exaggerated 10 times?
Yeah, just a ramped up version, more sadistic, I would say.
Right. And even with the Edge character and now Kevin Steen, you find yourself, JD, on the cusp of the main event level as a talented writer who has big wins over other talented writers who have championship history. But yet, it seems like you sometimes get overlooked as someone who's a viable challenger for the Grand Slam title. Do you personally feel that way?
Personally, no. I do kind of seem like I feel like I don't want to build myself up or anything to like toot my own horn, but it's like I can see where it's like I've gone past like the national title sort of scene, but at the same time I don't feel like I'm on the Grand Slam type level.
How does it feel to know that you're a former Super Brawl captain, you are a national title holder with Edge, you worked a full summer program with someone who has a guaranteed title shot, and you've kind of put yourself in this place over the last 7 or 8 months, and then someone like Suicide comes in, wins or gets close to winning Lethal Lottery, comes in for a couple months, does some promos, and wins a couple matches, and now is sitting with the main event slot at Summer Stampede for the Grand Slam title.
It doesn't bother me if that's what you're asking. I mean, Suicide he's been doing some awesome writing as of late. But I get where there's some sort of resentment towards him, I guess.
Right, and I don't want to, and let me retract that. Like, okay. That may have came across wrong. I personally don't have any problem with Suicide. I think Sim is an ultra-talented writer and someone that, has definitely earned the shot that he's got. I'm not going to sit here and say that, Sim doesn't deserve it, and because that'd be like, that would be absolutely false in saying that, and I don't want him to think I feel that way, and I don't want anyone to think I feel that way. What I'm saying is, I think that there seems to be a natural flow of how things should go, and I'm just kind of, I brought it up on last week's podcast, and I guess I'm bringing it up here again just to see what different people's thoughts are on the whole Grand Slam title scene as it is now.
I would say
you are drunk, my friend.
No, I'm not. I haven't had a drink.
You got to work, yeah.
No. But I get what you're saying, but at the same time, I think it could use some mixing up a bit. I mean,
yeah.
I guess you could have put like me and Kevin Steen and Suicide up against each other and be like, hey, you guys are going to be number one. We're going to fight for a number one contender spot. Or you could have very well, I don't know, just taken a feud with CM Punk and thrown him in like a triple threat match or a fatal 4-way just to see how that would shake things up a bit.
Mm-hmm.
But then at the same time, we got so many like of those pay-per-views like Lethal Lottery or Civil War or King of the Ring that's going to be coming up after Metal Mayhem, where it pretty much guarantees whoever wins that pay-per-view pretty much guarantees a shot at the Grand Slam title. So I don't know. I mean, how else can you shake up the main event, if you know what I'm saying?
No, that probably is good to throw in a wrench like that. This rise of Suicide and this push, for lack of a better term, that he seems to be getting is very similar to Crimson last summer, if you remember that and recall. Crimson kind of showed up out of the blue. It was shortly after I arrived, and he was doing some really good work. It was probably someone that was currently in or is still in the EWA, and no one just knew who it was, but he was doing some great stuff, and he had like a title shot in a cage match against Steve Corino on a Slam. Do you remember any of this?
Yeah, I remember. I don't remember the cage match, but I remember Crimson coming in and doing like just building himself up greatly. I think, I don't know if this is correct, but I think he was around a little before you actually got there, and then he like sort of disappeared, and then he came back and he just had all this momentum going for him.
Yeah, there's definitely something to be said for momentum as it pertains to the EWA. And speaking of momentum, Kevin Steen has a bunch of it right now. What's next for Kevin Steen going forward?
I actually did a segment on Slam about this past Slam.
No one reads the results.
That's true. But I got nothing going for him right now, so I'm just gonna have Kevin Steen lay low, and then wait until after this pay-per-view, and then make a run for the King of the Ring.
Right.
Maybe.
Is Kevin Steen still the King of Fury?
In his mind, he is.
Because I don't know if you saw it, but last week a certain writer here in the EWA had 3 matches on Fury, and Kevin Steen was nowhere to be seen.
Oh, I know. Damn that, Steve. He's so awesome.
You are incorrect. By the way, kudos for the Zig-Swag Ding Dongs match.
Oh my
That
God.
is the 2013 match of the year right there.
Has to be. Oh, that was Fury match of the year.
If you're listening to this and you haven't read that match, go and read that match. Just pause this, go and read that match, and come back to this, because
If you don't find the humor in that match, there's something wrong with you.
wow.
Or you're just too highbrow for us.
I tell you, sir, there's no humor in that match for me. Fixes monocle on my face.
How dare they?
Yes. Ding dongs, what are they referring to? The
Hostess
breakfast
cakes.
food? Hostess cakes, yes. Alright, so other than Suicide, who are some other guys that are up and coming or new or somewhat, just people that you are enjoying reading their stuff right now?
Well,
Do you read anybody's stuff, JD?
never, ever.
All right, then. Who are the people that you've heard are really good that you're going to pretend that you've read their stuff?
Sorry, I'm getting distracted. What? They're in the living room.
Who's that? Do they want to be on the podcast?
Little shelf thing.
JD's roommate.
Walking.
Who have you?
He can't hear you.
JD.
Go through. What?
JD's friend.
Okay, now turn around and look up.
There's
Yes.
nothing there, JD. It's just the ceiling. Why are you telling me to do this? Do I need to edit this part out? Or is this like when Pylon had a barbecue grill delivered last week?
Oh, that's up to you. This is nothing. This is my roommate looking for light bulbs.
Okay, let's break away from that question. Does your roommate have any idea what the hell you're doing right now?
No.
Does he have any idea about the EWA?
Yes. He actually put in an application like a year ago.
And who was he supposed to be? Razor Ramon?
No.
No.
Mick Foley.
Mick Foley. And what happened?
I gave him this idea to run with the character. I told him he actually used to do some writing himself, with one of these, feds.
Yeah?
A different one, obviously. And I was like, yeah, this fed's awesome. You should check it out. And he's like, da-da-da-da. And I was like, is it real wrestlers, fake wrestlers? I was like, it's real wrestlers. So you could be whoever you want. And his first response is, Chris Benoit. I'm like, no, you son of a bitch.
No. He's one of those guys then.
Yeah. But I gave him this idea. I was like, sign up. He's like, does Mick Foley still wrestle? And I was like, yeah, you can sign up as Mick Foley. Actually, what you should do is sign up as Mick Foley and have him do something where he's gotten hit in the head so many times, he doesn't know who he is when he wakes up. So one day he wakes up, he could be Dude Love. The next day he wakes up, he could be Mankind.
So it's like the precursor of Community Kane?
Kind of, yeah.
Wow.
But
that, he just didn't... Was that around Super Brawl time?
no, it was before Super Bowl.
I say, there was a Mick Foley around in like late October, early November once the boards came back.
Maybe it was him. I don't know. All he did was do an application, and that was it.
Oh. Well, he probably still beat Ed in a match where he no-showed. So. Congrats, JD's roommate. I hope you find that light bulb. So yeah, besides your roommate and Suicide, let's talk about some of the guys that you've enjoyed watching their rise through this summer and since they've joined.
K2 with his stuff with Wyatt and the Wyatt family. And then I mean the tag team division is really pretty stacked right now, with K2 and then with Bryce and Shirley teaming up the Tom Sharks.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely makes things interesting. And especially because John is another guy who's got like a guaranteed title shot.
Right.
He's also got the tag title, so, and the end of the year's coming up. I don't know when the expiration date is for John or Brett's title shot thing? Is it like a year thing, or can they?
I would assume that if Brett and Steve, I would assume if Brett and John's title shots run out, it goes to the last. It goes to 2 random people who have beaten Brett in their life. So that'd be me and you, I guess.
Hey, high five.
I almost had to accidentally lump Bryce in there, but hell no, he don't get no title shot. He's still carrying around William Regals from like 2007. Fuck him.
You still?
Probably.
Oh, then I can't drink.
Probably. But, so yeah, there's been a lot of good new members. I know that you enjoy K2's work as Bray Wyatt, but obviously the guys I had on last week, Eddie Kingston, Mr. Anderson, Brock Lesnar, these guys having very successful runs so far. But there's one application in the last week that has stood head and shoulders above the rest. And for once, I'm not actually trying to shill Vader. I think you know who I'm talking about. There is a man who is a Mexican Al-Qaeda terrorist member here in the EWA. I want to talk about Hunico Mania, as it is running rampant in the EWA right now.
Lord.
Your thoughts on Hunico, JD?
Oh, I don't even know where to begin with Hunico.
I hope it never ends.
Oh my god. Seriously.
From posting his role play and then posting the role play in the role play feedback.
Yes. Have you seen his new signature, by the way?
I saw the one where it was Hornswoggle, and I forced him to take that down yesterday.
Well,
and then he put what is it now?
The text. It's actually words. It's a signature where it says it's like his interest.
Yeah.
And it's like fucking with Americans, and then right under that, it's like tickling the anuses of Americans, and it's like, what? I don't understand that.
I feel like I don't know
if he used anuses correctly. Is that how you spell anuses?
How did he spell it?
Like ANUS apostrophe S. I think that's right.
that is the property of the anus.
Exactly, yeah.
Wow.
Anuses of America.
Have you read his stuff this week?
Yes.
Wow, he passed out at the end. What happened?
No, he didn't take a breath from his long-winded promo that he put out. It was all just like one long sentence. It was just...
I like how he asked for feedback, and I was like, you know what? Don't make the whole line the same color because it makes it hard to read and distinguish. And he was like, fuck feedback. I didn't really want that.
I don't necessarily think it's harder. I mean...
It just looks shittier.
I think it's a pet peeve for some people. It doesn't bother me at all, really.
What if it was bright yellow?
I wouldn't care.
You would
as long as I could distinguish the action from the words, then go for it. Whatever.
Hey, when it comes to a Hunico RP, the action is in the words.
That is very true.
It's deep in his heart. How far do you think Hunico can go here in the EWA?
I think he could hide a bazooka under the ring and blow up the ring and kill someone.
Boy, it's gonna be
or ole or whatever you're supposed to say.
It's gonna be tough to infiltrate the EWA, kill all of the current EWA roster, and then make Americans sad.
He may brainwash more people than Bray Wyatt will be able to.
Ooh, I feel like there might be a Hunico army in store.
There might be.
There might be a Hunico army in store.
He might, recruit some Canadian wrestlers, like maybe Kevin Steen, and be like, yes. America.
Oh, the anti-Americans. Hunico might be onto something here. Question, Hunico versus BWO, 2013 Feud of the Year?
Yes, without a doubt.
I mean, yeah, I feel like it's a no-brainer right now.
It
like if Dylan and Hunico aren't talking about a potential King of the Ring final between Hunico and Blue Meanie, then they're just wasting each other's time right now.
Man, throw Shark Boy in there too for good measure.
Oh God, because if we don't, Bryce will. He throws Shark Boy into everything. Hunico
needs to be on the Shark Tank.
Of course. In fact, I think Shark Boy needs to be on the Hunico tank.
Yeah.
I would like to see a weekly talk show on Slam hosted by Hunico.
Hunico's Caveco. I don't know.
Ooh, yes. Hunico's Terrorist Cave. Wow, I feel like we're just giving him gold right now.
Damn it!
And gold is like at its highest value. JD, let's talk about what something you participated in last weekend. And not a lot of people know about this. It was brought up in the chat, just sparingly. Last Friday night, JD participated in a Friday night old school WWF watch party. It was me, Jazz, Brett, Will, and JD all on Skype watching the... Do you remember what year it was? We watched a couple.
Yeah, there was what was it, 92?
Yeah, we watched the 1992 Royal Rumble match, as well as a few others, while drinking some beers.
More recent one.
Right, because Cody Rhodes was in that one.
Oh, yes. Oh. I mean, last year.
We drank some beers and had a good time. And what were your lasting impressions from that evening? Oh, also, I wanted to mention Pylon came in at the end with his wife.
I got so shit-faced that night. It was ridiculous. Like, I woke up the next morning with one of the worst hangovers. Mm-hmm. And I looked over, and I just saw a stack of empty beers next to me. I'm going to give you a little personal backstory on how I woke up the next morning.
Please do.
I was wearing my glasses, and at the time of the role play, or the fucking Royal Rumble, I remember watching the last Royal Rumble. I don't remember which one it was because I feel like we watched like fucking 3 of them. And I just moved into this duplex place. It's like this 3-bedroom duplex house.
Yeah.
Cut off into sections, and I got 2 bedrooms on the downstairs, and upstairs is another bedroom. It's empty right now, and a bathroom. At some point in the night, I left to go use the bathroom, took off my glasses, put them on top of the toilet tank, and then I woke up on the floor of the empty bedroom. I don't remember how I got there, and I felt like absolute shit.
Right.
And it was awesome.
Here's a pro tip. If you're drunk, you take Tylenol before you go to bed so you don't wake up with that hangover.
I think my problem was I didn't eat anything before we started watching those Royal Rumbles.
Yeah, because it went downhill quick. Like, it was like the end of the first Rumble, and I'm pretty sure you and I were gone.
Oh, God.
And we went through like 2
started
more
making
Rumbles.
Drinking games out of the...
Oh, yeah, every time The Undertaker put somebody in a chokehold. That's what got us wasted, by the way.
It was.
The Undertaker put, like, 17 people in a chokehold during that Rumble. It was not pretty.
I was surprised how little drinks we took for if they're dead, take a drink.
Yeah, and thankfully we didn't have to chug for the Bushwhackers, because that would have been awful. But enough of these inside jokes. Let that be an open invitation. That's something that I'm more than willing to do more often on the weekends. It's been a tradition kind of between Brett, Jazz, and Will has joined us a lot more recently. We just kind of sit around, watch old wrestling, and shoot the shit. All you have to do is send me a message on Skype and say, hey, like, when are you guys watching it again? And we can get something worked out. I hate to say it's a pretty good time because it sounds like in theory it sounds stupid, you know, like you're gonna sit around on Skype and drink beer, but like we all sync up our YouTube videos so we're watching it at the exact same time and everyone's reacting to it together, and it's just a good time when Brett's speakers aren't coming through the microphone. You can hear echoes and stuff, you know, like that.
Yeah. Definitely
makes for a problem as it pertains to that. So, getting back to Kevin Steen and Edge, is there any plans on bringing Edge back anytime soon?
I don't know. Right now, I'm going to say no. Mm-hmm. I had an idea of what I wanted to do with Edge, and then I don't know. I don't know what happened.
Well, in your head, can you give away that idea, what you wanted to do with him? Or is this something that you still might do?
It's something I still might do. I just don't have a timetable for it.
You won't do it, and then the next time you're on, like podcast 23, I'll be like, you remember that thing you were going to do with Edge? What was that? But I'll go ahead and give you the benefit of the doubt here. JD, do you watch current WWE programming at all?
Yeah.
And have you been keeping up with the road to SummerSlam?
Yes, I have.
Do you have any thoughts on the matches that we're going to be watching Sunday?
I am looking forward to it, actually. Usually, I think, I've always thought SummerSlam was one of their, like, WWE has this idea, like, oh, this is one of our big money pay-per-views, and in my mind, I was like, it's not really that big money anymore. You could do away with it now and replace it with something else, but this one's actually got me looking forward to it.
Yeah, this is the first SummerSlam that's been in a long time where I've been like, yeah, like this is a really good build-up. Like last year was Punk, Big Show, and Cena, and Del Rio cashed in, and like the year before was John Cena and Punk. No, that was 2 years ago that Del Rio cashed in. It was CM Punk and Cena, and then Del Rio cashed in after Kevin Nash interfered, and it was like it's just been really shitty.
What was the one? It wasn't SummerSlam, was it? Where they did The Rock and Cena versus like R-Truth and Miz?
Oh, that was the Survivor Series.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Which is something else too. Like you look at the careers of R-Truth and Miz after that match, and it has not been a pretty one for them.
But they're like, oh my god, I can't believe this didn't draw money. It was like, well, no shit.
Yeah, wasn't that like at Madison Square Garden too?
Was
I'm
it?
pretty sure Will was at that pay-per-view. What was that? Chikara Night of Trios?
I'm sorry, Will.
Will
he
met
actually
them
met
that night.
Miz. Yeah, met Miz.
At Chikara Night of Trios or whatever that thing is called.
Everyone and their mother.
Yeah, which is anytime you want to hear a great tattoo story, ask Will about his ECW tattoos.
Oh my god, yes. Oh.
Which I'm hoping somebody does in the comments of this podcast.
I almost forgot about that, and I just got slapped in the face with the memory of that story. And I'm
yeah,
like, yes.
No matter how drunk you are, you remember that story.
Yes.
I don't think you got to do penis in the anus last time you were on, did you?
No.
All right, let's go ahead and roll. Go ahead, Craig. Roll the B-side penis in your anus clip. And now it's time for...
Penis in your anus, 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 penis in your anus.
All right, and as you know, this is JD's penis in your anus, where he's going to get 10 seconds, but everyone has, in the history of this segment, has taken much longer than 10 seconds, so ignore the clock. JD, what are some of the penis in your anus as it refers to the EWA?
Oh, the EWA? I guess, I don't know, my biggest would be, like, the banner, like the head, the top banner at the top. So just because, I don't know.
Because you've never been on it?
No, but...
That's what it sounds like.
Listen, bitch. It's, because, let me finish.
Okay.
Like, half of the guys on the banner right now aren't even active.
Right.
Like, Brad Maddox, Kurt Angle, and then the Vegas Connection guys, and Cleveland Fuzz seem to be more focused on Taz and Bully Ray at the moment. So, like, they're still around, they're just not as active as they once were.
I think that's also a testament to the EWA that shows how it's kind of like a lake, whereas sometimes it turns over and the top get put on the bottom and the bottom come up to the top.
I can't tell if you're getting deep on me or hippie on me.
That's what she said?
What?
What? No, that's the biggest penis in your anus is the top ad that has all the fucking people on it.
I really don't have the real penis in my anus.
You have no problems with the EWA.
I feel like you're hinting that I should be mentioning something.
You should be furious about all kinds of stuff.
Oh, God. Hunico's formatting for his role plays.
That is the biggest EWA penis in your anus that one can think of.
No, actually, hey, this what? Hunico's formatting or the top banner?
Both of them. Can I just have a top banner of just all Hunicos?
That'd be amazing.
And one of him as Sin Cara from 2 years ago when they did the Sin Cara versus Sin Cara feud?
Yeah. But, If you can get Hunico in a picture of a turban, I would love it.
Oh, God. Yes, if you're listening, Bryce or Steve or Jazz or anyone that has image capabilities, Hunico in a turban, please. I want it in this podcast thread. Hunico in a turban. All right, JD, let's do some quick hits here. I'm going to ask you just some random questions completely off the cuff. You ready?
Let's do it.
What's your favorite TV show?
Right now, Breaking Bad. So.
What's your favorite TV show of all time, then?
You gotta go with Simpsons.
The Simpsons, like earlier stuff or mid?
Oh, earlier stuff. The newer stuff was really hit or miss.
Yeah. Favorite scent of all time?
What the fuck?
Mm-hmm. Is what the fuck a scent that I'm not aware of?
Lavender.
Lavender. That's a good answer. Also would have accepted cinnamon rolls.
Ooh.
What's your favorite movie of all time?
Shawshank.
Favorite version of Batman? Tim Burton's or the new remake ones?
The newer one.
Which one of the newer ones was your favorite?
Returns.
There was Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, and then The Dark Knight Rises.
Oh, Dark Knight.
So you just said an adjective
I said
or a verb,
didn't I?
Yeah, you did. So your favorite is the one with Danny DeVito and Michelle Pfeiffer and Christopher Walken.
Christopher Walken?
Yeah, he was in that one. Selena Kyle pushes him out the window.
Oh, that's right. Oh, yes.
Yeah. Do you play video games?
Not really.
No, you just play as a wrestler on the internet?
I got a nerd aspect to me, but it's not with video games.
What's your nerd aspect?
Warcraft.
You play World of Warcraft?
A little bit, yeah.
Wow, what server are you on?
Sentinels.
Sentinels? Are you Alliance or Horde?
Alliance.
Alright, attaboy. Jazz and I are Alliance through and through. Oh shit, I just threw Jazz under the bus. I'm sorry, friend! JD, we'll talk off the air about this. Favorite type of Pringle?
Salt and vinegar.
Salt and vinegar. Have you seen the new chips that are out that are chicken and waffles?
Yes. I've heard awful things about them, though.
Well, yeah, like, who eats chicken and waffles?
I've heard it neither tastes like chicken nor waffles. Or it tastes more like syrup, so what someone told me.
Well, then it should just be called maple syrup.
Yeah, whatever.
I mean...
I tried the cheesy garlic bread one, though. That's not bad.
That wasn't bad. I feel like people are getting, like, too crazy with their chip flavors now.
It's very possible.
What's going on in the background there?
I have no idea.
Is your roommate and Paul Bear making a coffin for Jake the Snake Roberts for their upcoming casting match?
They might be.
That's just an old school reference that you're going to have to look up on YouTube to get.
I got it.
And the fact that I was able to just ramble it off.
That was good.
Not good. Have you ever been to a live WWE show?
Yes.
What show?
The last one I went to was a SmackDown.
Oh, okay.
It was a SmackDown right before a Royal Rumble, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the one with, like, Drew Carey, who came out number 1.
Oh, no, he came... We watched that one a couple weeks ago, actually, and Drew Carey came out number 6 while the Hardy Boys were out, and they eliminated each other, and Drew Carey was in the ring by himself.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, yeah, the main event for that SmackDown, I remember, was Stone Cold, The Rock, and Undertaker versus Kurt Angle, Rikishi, and Kane, with Triple H as the guest referee.
Wow, and how did that match end?
I believe... like Stone Cold and The Rock were like staring at each other in the middle of the ring, and then Undertaker and Kane came in and chokeslammed them, and then they stared at each other in the ring and then left. And
it sounds like a terrific show.
It was. I don't remember all the details. Damn it!
The way you just explained it made it sound like a terrific show.
This was like 2001 or 2 or something.
Yeah, that's the last show you went to?
I think so. Yeah.
Wow, that's a long time. It sounds like a good show, but that's a long time ago.
I think one of my first ones I saw Undertaker and Yokozuna in a casket match.
Ooh, well that was at a pay-per-view, wasn't it?
It was.
That was Royal Rumble '94.
It might have been like a house show though.
Oh, okay. Well, you get a lot of casket matches at house shows. I won't lie.
I don't know.
I feel like every house show should be a casket match.
I don't remember the name of it though. I'm pretty sure I saw like Crush or Adam Bomb and Doink and Tanaka.
Rest in peace, right and left.
Yeah, I know, right?
Also, one last thing I want to talk about. JD and I talked about beforehand the possibility and the chance of something insane. I'm talking an EWA meetup, but not just any kind of EWA meetup. You see, I know that people come and go in the EWA like the wind. So it'd be hard for me to get any of you guys listening to commit to, 1, coming to America, or 2, going to someplace in America to meet other EWA people right now. So that's why I'm proposing, with JD's approval, that we get together next year in Chicago, Illinois for WrestleMania. And we go to the biggest wrestling bar in America, the Squared Circle, which is a restaurant run by a former WWF diva. It's not...
What?
It's not Melina. It's like... And it's not Ivory, but it's somebody along those
Medusa?
lines. No, not Medusa. But it was somebody... It was a dark-haired diva from the 2000s. Anyway, no, you're not... Dark-haired. Dark-haired.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that's a confusion. Anyways, I'm suggesting that we go there, to Chicago. Even though WrestleMania is in New Orleans, unless you guys want to go to New Orleans, we go to Chicago, Illinois over WrestleMania weekend, and we just have it out there. Get pissed drunk, fucking fight each other, beat each other up. JD has sex with Brett. Whatever happens, happens, okay? We just let it.
I'll raw dog him. I don't give a fuck.
We just let it. You already stole the stuff from his house. Why not just bend him over at this point?
Thank you for the laptop, Brett.
By the way, the podcast has just gone to a dark place.
Whatever.
Very dark place. JD, are you okay with that?
I am down with it. I did not even know that this big wrestling bar existed in Chicago, and I'm from right outside Chicago, so...
you're right outside Chicago? Well, then I'm going to have to suggest somewhere closer to me, so I don't feel like I'm just traveling to you.
Made me feel loved.
That's right. We'll see what the rest of the EWA universe thinks. You know what? I really want Newt to go.
That would be amazing, but
Here's what I want. I want a pay-per-view, an EWA pay-per-view, the weekend of WrestleMania. Newt comes to this gathering, and we all have to dramatically read our role plays to him, and he decides the winner. You have to read your role plays out loud to him.
What if Newt tells us that he's going to be there, but he won't tell us, like, who he is, or he won't introduce himself? Like, we have to go up to people in the bar and be like, hey, Newt?
He just watches us from afar.
Yeah.
And he looks lovingly, and he's like, I created that over there. He's like, I made them what they are, and now look at them.
I don't know. He's been on the podcast now, though, so we could probably match his voice up.
Oh, God. He could have used any kind of voice converter.
I don't know. Yeah, you think he's that paranoid about giving anything away about his personal life?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Absolutely.
Did you learn anything more personal about him because of his podcast? Like,
well, when I first called him, he had his video turned on, and he was sitting there with no clothes on. All I could see was from his neck to his ankles.
Oh, really?
So if I could see people's penises in this restaurant, I could probably figure out who Newt is. Boom.
You're in trouble, Newt.
That's right, because his penis looks like a button wearing a fur coat. Speaking of the ding-dongs, it was more of a ding than a dong. Let's be honest.
Ooh, hey.
Boom, Newt, calling you out. Small penis. Now you got to come on the podcast again and defend yourself.
Or maybe he just has big balls that makes his penis look small.
Well, I thought about 2 minutes ago that the podcast went to a dark place. I was wrong.
Now we're getting homoerotic up in this bitch.
It's just getting out there and further out there. I'm going to go ahead and put a mercy bullet in this thing before it gets too crazy. I want to thank JD for coming onto the podcast. JD, you've been another amazing guest. I'm never having you on again, so feel free to say whatever you have to say, because this is your last time to say it.
Eat a dick.
All right. Well, you heard it here first, folks. JD wants you, the EWA Universe, to eat a dick. That being said, JD looks forward to seeing all of you in Chicago for WrestleMania next year.
Yes, sir.
And if you'd like to join us one weekend on Skype and watch some old Royal Rumbles and get drunk with us, feel free to shoot me a message, start a thread, whatever you got to do to get a hold of us. It's a good time, I promise. Laughs will be had. We do not make fun of you, just people that aren't there like Brady. All right, thanks for coming out. Thanks for coming on. Best of luck to everyone this week, and looking forward to the Bagpipe Report, talking about Summer Stampede this week, this upcoming week.
Climax face.
What's that?
Watch out for Undertaker's climax face.
Yes, yes. Predictions for Hunico Undertaker this week on Fury.
No.
All right, then. You heard it here. Thanks for coming on. We'll talk to you guys next week.